So this morning I'm passing my little pet project here, which is One Vanderbilt. We would say the pinnacle of Mr. Cornelius Vanderbilt's vision for this square, having all the well, look at my other videos. So I couldn't help myself, because there at the other end of this block is one of those hard hats you see on a construction site. See? Brown hat, white construction hat. And usually when you get a white construction hat, whether it's maintenance or even security, if somebody, you're talking to a supervisor of sorts. So, seeing as though there's a suit and tie with the suit off in an architectural way, I would say, standing on the corner with a white hard hat. Actually, there are two of them that look like designer, builder, financier. So I couldn't let myself, I had to ask the question, why the heck is this column off? Was it a fluke? Was it a mistake? And someone said sometimes they don't know what the heck they're doing. But when I posed the question, the structural engineer, well, he didn't quite confirm that title. But to us tool makers, a certain response warrants certain acceptance. Said that this is all a part of the design from day one. So I had someone on my page who asked the question whether or not, or pondered the question whether or not that's a fluke, a mistake. But one thing I must kick myself in the butt for is that as you follow these columns up, and we see the one that's extremely cockeyed right there, to the point where the one above it is sitting above the one below it. You see, it bows, and it's not just that one that bows. Both of those bows. The bow is coming out. So it's a part of the design per what I will call the structural engineer. But what I failed to notice is that as you follow the column coming down, they're all uniform in size until you get to the last one there. And it's almost covered up by the first application of windows. But as you get to the last column there, it's about half the size as the one that's above it. And it's sitting on a parallel with the one that's cockeyed. From this angle, it doesn't look that way. But now it shows its cousin, who is smaller than half the size of the one above it. So you got two cockeyed things going on there. But I didn't notice that one. I was so appalled by the one that's off. But he says that, well, that's a part of the design. And the person who confirmed that, why am I not showing their face? Because I don't want to do that. Unless a person acting away. You know what I'm saying? And people on that level, unless you arrange something, I don't do that. But I never noticed that pole, so the intricacy shows. You know, the intricacy of this design of One Vanderbilt is really showing. So take a look at my videos that depicts, and it's weight transfer is part of the name of the video of this section of the building, and you'll see in exactly how they transfer the weight of the building that comes down, and the transferal goes on right at this point where the weight goes in to the columns that are under there. You see what I'm saying? So if you go, yeah, it's weight transfer. I don't exactly remember the name. I could go look it up, but yeah, you need to do a little. There's so many videos that I got there. You guys should take a look. You know, don't just look at one of my videos or just let Google point you to something else. So we can get. It's been confirmed that that's a part of the design, and I overlooked that half-size column out there that tells you that at that point there is a signature of sort. So to bring into somewhat of a proper perspective of the weight transfer that I'm talking about, you see from this side, you see the southern side of One Vanderbilt. Well, I call it Grand Vanderbilt also, but One Vanderbilt, the overhang on that side and the overhang on that side. So the intricacy of why that column down there is cockeyed like it is, it's not really fully explained by me, but it's something that we can ask. But when you're told by an engineer, that what I perceive to be an engineer, that's a part of the design, it's something worth looking into, you know, especially where we have to make buildings more earthquake resistant. You'd be surprised what kind of transfer that offset column is in charge of, and that smaller column that's on the same level. And you see monster column on this side holding up. But a video to look at is the weight transfer of that overhang, because the entire building, well, as you go up, the building goes in. So it's gonna be sitting over there, but all before it goes in enough, you have to transfer that weight there. That's gonna hang there. And you see them building the inside wall that'll support the building as it goes up, because I'm sure that it's gonna pinnacle off to where the weight is transferred to that inside wall, that rebar enforce and reinforce wall. Yeah, but the rate transfer of One Vanderbilt, COG One Vanderbilt, is where you can find my videos. The full name is Gather a COG, but I think this is worth looking into, and that there are some answers in my earlier observation as they were transferring the weight of this section of One Vanderbilt. Good morning.